This screencast is going to start kind of in the middle of the Montgomery bus boycott that was executed following the arrest of Rosa Parks. So I believe in both honors classes I established how buses were segregated and what actually happened with Rosa Parks in terms of she was a seamstress and a secretary for the NAACP, and she boarded the front seat of the all-black section of the bus, and she refused to give up her seat for a white man that boarded, and because of that she was arrested and went to jail. The effects of this are that civil rights leaders in the city are going to immediately begin to organize a massive citywide bus boycott kind of in Parks' honor. The leaders basically want all African Americans to boycott the buses in the city, and leaders feel this will be effective because African Americans make up, somewhere between 60 and 70% of all the bus riders. Now, Martin Luther King will emerge at this time as an early leader. The boycott organizers choose Martin Luther King Jr., who was just 27 at the time, to be the boycott's spokesperson. A little background on MLK. King grew up during the Depression, but had a pretty well-off family, so he and his family were stable growing up. He was college educated all the way through his PhD from Boston University. At one point, he worked on a tobacco farm just so he could kind of identify and empathize with poorer people. But after getting his PhD, he did move down to Alabama in Montgomery and became the religious pastor of a high-class, all-black church. And he followed a policy that is known as civil disobedience. Civil disobedience involves nonviolent protests. It's when you would refuse to obey a law that was deemed immoral, but using nonviolent means. So, for example, like exactly what Rosa Parks did, refusing to give up a seat is not a violent way to protest, but it is breaking the law nonetheless. And you understand, in civil disobedience, the people who are peacefully protesting are often made to look the victims, so it's actually a strategic form of protest. So what ended up happening with the bus boycott? King had to have cars kind of drive the regular bus route and pick up people, like a carpool system, and drop them off to where they needed to go in place of being able to ride the bus. But eventually the city comes out with this silly law that they need a taxi permit in order to do this, and so people just kind of end up starting to walk, and they really do carry on with their mission to avoid the buses at all costs. The results are that they really actually weren't trying to get the buses completely desegregated. They knew that was kind of a prestigious goal. So initially they just wanted to get a permanent dividing line where they wouldn't have to give up their seat ever. Like if they were in all black section, then they could be guaranteed their seat. But within about a year, a judge in Alabama actually outlawed segregated buses, so they get the full of what they want and buses are no longer legally segregated, so the boycott was successful. Soon after the success of this boycott, just within a couple of years, we're going to have a new civil rights organization formed called the SCLC, which stands for the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. This was founded by several dozen African American ministers, including Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King Jr. will be chosen as the organization's first leader. They were dedicated to following the practice of civil disobedience to challenge laws. And this organization became an integral organization for voting rights and an end to segregation and really equality for all. And that's the end of the screencast for today, and we will pick up with the Little Rock 9 in class tomorrow, and I will have a new outline for you to download to complete everything after the Little Rock 9, and that screencast will be open tomorrow morning. Alright, y'all have a good day. Write down any questions you have, and don't forget to email me if you have any questions.